Everybody, happy Thursday. It is 9:30 Cotton Cuts time. Good morning, Instagram. Good morning, Facebook. And good morning, YouTube. I see lots of people typing in. You guys are popping in from all over today. I love it. I love that it is warming up. I don't know about you guys, but St. Louis is going to hit 50 degrees for the weekend. It is going to be amazing. After so many days, like, hey, it's 5 degrees for the high and minus 15 for the low. Like, I'm super happy. 50 degrees makes me very, very happy. And I look forward to a nice sunny weekend. And I hope you guys get to experience that where you are. I see people talking about 30 degrees. It's such an increase in temperature, and that just it makes it so much more fun to, be outside or to be sitting inside and looking outside. I see a lot of people received their puzzle mystery quilts. I'm excited about that. We're going to talk more about that in a second here, you guys, with all of Field of Dreamers. And today's show, our main topic is going to be what did I say? So what now what? SEW, so what now what? You've got these clues. So what now what? How do you tackle this for the first time? I know we have a lot of very seasoned detectives who I'm hoping will help me out as we go through this. So we're going to do something new for this show because we're always doing something new. It's 32 degrees in Alaska, Shirley. Holy cow, that cannot be right. Surely you must be in a different measure, but wow. Okay, so we're doing something new. So Paula has this idea. And so what we're going to do is I am going to show you a word that I do not know. And I'm going to flash it to the camera. So if you're on Instagram, everywhere, you guys will see it. You're going to count the number of times I say this word. And then at the end of the show, you're going to put it into the chat box. And whoever gets right, Paula will pick one person to get a prize, right? So I don't know what this word is, so I will not be biased at all as I'm talking. In fact, it might make me more self-conscious. I'm going to ask you guys to not put the word in the chat because then I'll be thinking about it and I'll probably end up saying it way too many times. But let's go. So she's got the word. She's handing this to me. I have not seen it. I'm hoping this is not upside down. And if it is, I honestly will not know. But here we go. This is the word. I'm not looking. I'm closing my eyes. Can they see it? I need to lift it up. Okay. Okay. I can't tell if it's on the phone or not because I'm not supposed to be looking. So I'm just going to close that up, you guys. So however many times I say that word, you're going to count them up. And at the end of the show, put it in the chat and there'll be prizes given. So I don't even know what it was. This is going to be a lot of fun. Okay. So let's start as we always do with questions that have been submitted by you guys. So go to cottoncuts.com/live to enter your question. It is sitting here on the desk when I sit down. I have no idea where we're going to go with this, but it's always so much fun, and we always learn something new along the way. So our first question comes to us from Lori Swanson from Overland Park, Kansas, just down the highway. Thanks so much for the question, Lori. I keep hearing quilters talk about their scant quarter-inch seam. What does scant mean, and how is it really different from a regular quarter-inch seam? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about seam allowance. I always like these questions because it's always a good opportunity to refresh, especially as we're starting new projects and seam allowances are factoring into our finished dimensions. So if I take the fabric and I lay the two layers together and I put it through my sewing machine and I measure from the edge of the raw fabric to my stitch line and it's a quarter-inch, when I actually open up that fabric and press it, it will take out way more than a quarter-inch of both of my fabric. Because in the act of opening it up, flipping it over, and pressing it, I am actually losing about 3 to 4 stitches. If you had a microscope and you zoomed in on your fabric, you're actually losing about 3 to 4 columns of thread of that fabric every time you roll it over and press it. So what happens is your actual quarter-inch seam, if you measure it when you stitch it, becomes more than that because you're losing some in the act of unfolding and pressing it. So whenever you see instructions of scant, what that means is you want to pop it over about 3 threads when you're sewing it. And so you want to measure that from the edge of your fabric and you want to be about 3 threads, just a little shorter. And so what will happen then is when you open it and you got that little bit that's going to bulk up, like you can see the overlap of my fingers, if you've got that three or so columns and then you press it, the resultant fabric will lose a quarter-inch each. And so this is something, it's super tiny, you guys. I know, like, I don't want you to actually measure what 3 threads looks like. So scant is just a hold on one second, guys. All right, I think I'm back. If you can hear me, can you guys give me a thumbs up just to make sure? We lost the camera for a little bit. These things happen. Okay, so what this means is when you're measuring things, instead of getting 6 1/4, it might be a little bit smaller because that scant is not taken into consideration when you're sewing your seam allowances together. So all scant means is just boop, just move it just a little bit closer to the raw edge of your fabric, and you're going to be totally fine. And so a lot of quilters where piecing is precise are very worried about those 3 threads. If you're like me, be consistent. Just use the same presser foot and line it up on the same spot on your presser foot, or line it up on the same spot on your thread plate on the bottom, and you will be fine. But it really comes down to just being very consistent. That is going to give you the most consistent end product. All right. Yes. Hi, Jana. Sorry about that, you guys. It like blacked out for a minute, but I'm glad we're back and didn't lose the feed because it is kind of a pain in the tushy to start this all over again. I'm not going to lie. Okay. So fantastic. Thank you, Lori, for the question. I always like talking about seam allowance, especially when we're talking about a project like we're talking about today. All right. So our second question today comes to us from Kathy Liberty from Aberdeen, North Carolina. Thanks so much for your question, Kathy. Kathy asks, I see quilters using starch or sizing when they press their fabric. Do I really need to use these products, or is pressing with just my iron enough? Okay. So let's see here. That she said the word 600 times and she was frozen there. Gosh, I don't know what the word is, but if I said the word 600 times, Pat, woof. All right. So Kathy is asking about starches and stabilizers and when and how to use them when we quilt. And so I want to be perfectly honest with you, Kathy. This feels like one of those very, very polarizing topics where we've got starchers and we have not starchers. And so you're either in one camp or you're in the other. You're a believer or you don't believe at all. And so I used to be in the never starched. When I was growing up, starch was something my mom used on my dad's work shirts. It was terrible as a kid. Like it was in an aerosol can. I didn't like spray starch at all as a kid, and so I didn't see a need to use it when I was quilting and sewing. Because I'm a close enough quilter, right? Mine does not need to be exactly precise and exactly sharp. And then what happened? I sewed one of my first projects where I had a lot of depth, where I had a lot of hexagons, and where I had a lot of a lot of very, very, very biased edge parts and pieces. And when I went, I was so happy sewing it along. I was stitching along, stitching along, stitching along, and I put all these diamonds together and ended up with kind of this parachute. It was like flat on the outsides and it kind of parachuted up in the middle because I didn't starch the fabrics ahead of time. It didn't hold its shape, and all those biased edges by themselves are probably not a problem, but all the biased edges together yielded, and I'm not gonna lie, it like parachuted up and it made a good like 10 inches off of the mat that I had it on, and I was in tears because I was so proud of this darn thing. And so I spent a lot of time figuring out how to get it flat and how to, press and all the bad things that you're not supposed to do. And it created a lot of stress and consternation for me. And so that's when I really started learning and becoming more conversant with when and how to use starch. So if you're going to use starch on your projects, it is highly recommended that you use it at the same phase of your project. So if you're going to starch and you make the commitment to starch, you starch your pieces all at the same phase. So you either starch the yardage off the bolt before you cut it, or you starch your pieces as you cut it before you stitch them, or you starch it as you're making sub-assemblies, but you starch them all at the same phase. That is just so that way all of your fabric receives starch all at the same time. So if it is going to move or distort, it all moves or distorts equally. Now, there are some people that when they buy the fabric, before it even hits the shelf, they're starching it. That is fantastic. As long as everything in your stash is starched, you are going to be fine. Now, Jana has put the comment in here. And so we do not, and we strongly, strongly, strongly do not recommend starching anything that has already been pre-cut from the manufacturer. So something like our die cut parts and pieces in the Puzzle Mystery Quilt, something like a charm pack, something like a layer cake. It is generally not recommended to starch something that is like that because it is going to distort, it is going to move on its own. Fabric is almost a living organism. And if it is cut, if there's a little bit of inconsistency in the cut, if perhaps it's not cut on exactly the 90 degrees parallel that it needs to be, sometimes it can warp and sometimes it can distort. And you will be like me when I had my parachute project, and it's not going to line up for you and it won't be fun. So for anything that's pre-cut like the Puzzle Mystery Quilt or a small pre-cut from a manufacturer, it's generally not recommended to starch it. However, if you are going to starch it, make sure Starch a project in general outside of a puzzle mystery quilt, a PMQ, then I definitely want to make sure that you're starching it at the same phase of the project. And so I've done that for a Texas Lone Star quilt and it turned out beautifully. And I had all my points lined up. Everything was great and fantastic. And there was definitely no parachuting because I learned when and how to use starch properly. So I'm hopeful that works. Katie, is it Katie or Kathy? I think it's Kathy. Hopefully that works for you, Kathy, and that you're at least try it. Like pick a project and try it and see if you like it. Now, I went years with just an iron and survived, and it's absolutely positively a-okay and fine. So definitely find something that works for you. But like I said, I had to have a really, really bad experience to get to where I am today. Now, there are new products on the market. And I saw a post in our Cotton Cuts Fabric Facebook group about people that use starch pens. So this is not the aerosol, big spray thing or anything that you can get in a big large can, but rather a pen, a best press that you can put on a seam after it's sewed. We have not tested those on any of our pre-cuts in the shop, but there are people that use those that swear by them. And so after they stitch it together, they stitch they starch the stitched seam. Ooh, see that like 17 times. They starch the stitched seam. And so they actually have luck for that. And that actually holds the seam as it's been pressed to hold the intent of the product. Now that's something we have to do some more testing on because I do worry about inconsistencies. If you're just starching the seam but you haven't starched the actual body of the fabric, you could be creating other downstream problems. But I know that people that try the starch pens love them. So again, Kathy, I would recommend getting one, trying it and seeing if it works for you, but making sure that if you're going to use it, you use it on the entire project, not just a piece here or there. Lonnie's saying she's never starched fabric for a project. Yeah, Lonnie, I think I've only done it on 1 or 2 projects for me. It has to be a super special project. Chloe says she used the starch pens on the Floral States of America. I get it. Those are a lot of really small triangles that can be kind of fiddly, so it does make sense there. Janice says she uses her Acorn press pen with flyaway and it still assembled well. So we have a testimonial for it that it still works. And then let's see here. Diane Ricardella. I apologize if I mispronounced it. Field of Dreams starts tomorrow. And from what I can see, mine hasn't even shipped yet. We're going to come to that in just a second. And starch is gross. I hate using it. I hate sewing with it. I just hate it. I refuse to use starch. Love loathing me. I get it. I was an anti-starch person because I have this memory that I am, scarred by from my childhood. But having this project that I loved and was so excited about, it got me off the dime to at least try it. But it's not something I keep frequently in my sewing room. It's not something I use all the time for sure. All right, next up we have our favorite segment. So what is on your sewing table? So we just started talking about this because our team does show and share every Monday. We bring in projects that we've been working on and we post that and we share with you what our team is working on to help inspire you. But what are you guys working on? So please share with us what is on your sewing table right now. What are you guys working on? I know for me, my sewing table is getting ready for Luau. So it is getting ready to sew my Luau kit together. I'm going to share with you guys my colorway here for just a minute. But it's also, I'm finishing quilts. So I handed Robin 4 quilts to take with her to go get finished. So I'm in this kind of let's clean things up because I've got some bigger projects coming. So what are you guys working on? Let's see here. Pastry, I'm so sorry. You're so sorry your break is over. You can definitely catch us on the replay later. Linda Wimple is binding her Aloha. Lonnie is doing a tote bag. Pat is working on her Under the Sea. Let's see here. The military made me anti-starch, cutting a mystery quilt from her local quilt shop. Yes, I understand. There's sometimes like that starch can you either love it or you really hate it. That's why I said there's 2 different camps. Excuse me, I am sneezing here. Okay. Joe Mosley says she's making a charity quilt for the hospital NICU. Ellen Ford is flowering blocks from Fat Quarter Shop. So I feel like this time, right? So I'm reading through the comments and you guys are telling me what you're working on. And I'm wondering if any of these words are the secret word I'm not supposed to say. So if you guys put that in there, like I feel like I'm seeing a lot of floral states. So I'm wondering if that's the word you guys are supposed to be counting because is that something you guys are actually working on? Now, this is the stuff I'm thinking about is what is the actual word I'm supposed to be saying? Okay. All right. Okay. I have not said it once, she said. I have not said it once. Okay. That's a little terrifying. Also a side note, you guys. So yesterday, our team did the trend with ChatGPT and coming up with a caricature of you and your space. And I love all the cartoons that you guys posted into our Cuts Fabric Facebook group of you guys. I loved seeing you in your workspaces, and I love seeing it. Just it was so joyful. And yeah, AI still doesn't quite get which side of the sewing machine you're supposed to be sewing on. So I loved those little inconsistencies and those little gems. But thank you guys so much for doing this. Pat says you are wrong, Paula, that I have said the word. Uh-huh. All right, they're paying attention, man. They are on this. Maybe we need to get more than one person counting this word. Oh yeah, let's hope that, Ray, I hope that is not the word. I will definitely never say it if that is the word. Okay. I'm just saying, Ray, that's not gonna happen. She put a word into the chat that is just very not great. So okay. Let's see here. Patch says she loves the cartoon pics, but I don't want to download another thing on her cell. I get it. You can definitely use a computer as well to access Chat GPT. So we actually here at Cotton Cuts, we use more Claude than Chat GPT, but we do have a Chat GPT. Marty Brown says I've said it 4 times so far. This is gonna be fun. So this was Paula's idea, guys. So we're running with this. All right. What's been happening in the shop? So as everyone knows, Field of Dreamers has been our #1 project for the past couple of weeks. And so we have mostly shipped out all of the prepaid whole quilts. So what that means is if you placed your order before January 20th, which was the date when we made the cutoff for all the kitting of those boxes, if you placed your order before January 20th, it is, I think there's only maybe like 5 or 6 that are still here. It is shipped. It is out the door. It is on its way to you, with the exception of Illusion. As everyone knows, Illusion fabric was slightly delayed. So if you ordered an Illusion prepaid quilt, you do have to wait just a little bit more. That fabric is on its way in transit. And so we should be able to get that one to you shortly thereafter. So you had to have placed your order before January 20th, and you can't have ordered Illusion. So if you fit in those categories, then the chances are that your puzzle mystery quilt is on its way to you. Like I said, we have just a couple boxes where we have some issues with some backing fabric. We have some that are waiting for a month-to-month clue. So some of you guys ordered a prepaid and a month-to-month, and so we're going to build the month-to-month and we're going to add those together and get those out the door. So that's really the class of prepaid quilts that have already shipped. So if you're in those categories, it is out the door and sway to you. If you ordered after January 20th, and through Friday, when our prepaid signups end, which is tomorrow, then we're going to do another build on batch. And so that'll come to you the 1st or 2nd week in February. All of those folks that ordered really close to the end deadline, we're going to do one more build and it'll be out the door to you. Patch says she's got 1 box and she's waiting on 3 more boxes to arrive. I have no doubt they are coming to you. It depends on how they were ordered and all that good stuff. Okay. Now, if you have purchased a Clue 1 as of today, if you purchased a month-to-month membership, I apologize. If you purchased a month-to-month, as of today, you're going to be in the batch that's going to ship tomorrow. And then we batch those. So if you sign up tomorrow, if you sign up Saturday or Sunday, then we usually wait 2 or 3 days and we do a batch and send those out to you. So if you purchased in the 13th hour, if you purchased near the end of the finish line, please, 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 please don't expect yours to come in the batch that leaves tomorrow. We have to have cutoffs so that way we know how many to build. And so our team can, build rather than, okay, so today it's 60, today it's 62, tomorrow it's 64. We'll nickel and dime ourselves to death. So we have to draw these lines in the sand. So just make sure that, if you sign up in the end, it's going to be coming to you maybe just a little bit later. But it is a 10-month program, you guys. So this is going on through November. So while you may be a week or 2 or 4 or 5 days behind other people, it's not that much in a 10-month time span. So everyone just be cool and patient. And let's all remember that for every mystery but this one, every mystery for the past 4 or 5, we haven't started shipping prepaid boxes until after Clue 1. So the fact that most of you guys have them is a huge accomplishment. It is a huge improvement. Carrie is super happy about that because she's not getting the where's my box, where's my box, where's my box. So I know that for like the few of you that are in this little bolus phase, it's coming, I promise. And it is infinitely better than it has been in the past. And so I appreciate all of your patience for this. This team that's working behind the camera, you guys, has been doing an incredible job cutting and folding and shipping and die cutting, because it is over 1 million parts that we have to die cut for every puzzle mystery quilt. And so it's over 1 million. And they've done that and they've packaged them and they've shipped them and they are getting out the door to you guys. So I cannot say enough good things about the changes we made to make that happen. And they've been doing a fantastic job. Okay, don't forget as you get your box and you receive it, don't forget to post that photo in our Cotton Cuts Fabric Facebook group with the box. You can take a photo. It can be something cool like, and then we're gonna give someone a prize on Monday, and that's all in Paula's bailiwick. So post your photo of you unwrapping your box and post it in the Facebook group, and someone is gonna get a prize. Lonnie, yes, illusion. You guys, it's coming. It's definitely coming. I promise it's coming to you. Oh, and for those of you that ordered illusion and a different colorway, we're going to separate out the shipment so that way you guys can get the other colorway and then illusion will come later rather than waiting for illusion for it to all go. So all of that happens. Oh, and we are also talking about Luau, right? On top of all this like Field of Dreamer stuff, we also have Luau coming. And so all of Luau is off the bolt. It's going to start to die cut and those will start to ship to you next week. You guys ran into Luau, and I love it. That started on a Sunday, you guys. Sundays are hard days for a lot of people, and so I'm so excited that you guys made it to the website on Sunday. We have, I think, like 8 colorways have already sold out on Luau. However, as always happens, the colorway that I like, nobody's doing, and so I'm going to be doing Melee. It is on the website now. Early. Nobody has signed up for Melee. There is no Allison Goss Giuseppe love in this group. And so I've signed up for Melee. I am going to be sewing Melee. And when we have the reveal, you guys are going to get to see what this beautiful, fantastic quilt looks like. And so let's see here. Diane's asking if she can post a picture with an empty box. She's practicing patience. I think you can. I'm going to make the executive decision. If you post a picture and be like, this is what my box is going to look like in a week when it gets here, I am totally good with that. All right, so for Luau, yes, I'm going to be doing Melee. It is only a 5-week program, you guys, and so we're going to ship those kits to you next week. It will start on March 4th, and then it'll be 5 weeks, and then we're going to do the reveal. So the reveal will be in early April. You're not going to want to miss out on this. There's like, if you love this plumeria, which evidently a lot of you guys do, you need to get to there because I think when I looked this morning, there's only like 3 of those kits left. You want to get in on that. All right, and of course it's a shorter program, and if you buy a pre-cut kit, everything's kit for you. We do have that cat's cradle ruler on the website. If you want to cut your own kit or if you want to shop your stash, that cat's cradle ruler is going to help you in one of the clues that we're going to be stitching together. Let's see here. How many boxes? Shirley, I don't understand. How many boxes do you have to get done total? Can I use a Sharpie to write on my star? We're going to talk about a star in a minute. Patch, hold on to that question and come back to it. Like I said, Ray, Luau will start to ship next week for a start on March 4th. Tonight, we're doing something fun. We're doing another YouTube Live. Multiple changes happening. So let's kind of cover all of that so you guys know what's going on. So we're moving it to the evening, right? We've heard lots of folks want to be able to participate, but they can't participate during the day. So they're going to be participating at night. It'll be 7 o'clock tonight Central Time on YouTube. Only on YouTube, not on Facebook, not on Instagram. And we're doing a Designers After Dark sale. My husband loves anytime we do a cuts after dark. So we're doing a Designers After Dark sale. And so this one is going to be different. I will be showing you a bolt of fabric by a list of some very established designers. Showing you bolt of fabric, I will be giving you a number and I will be telling you how many yards are on it. And you will comment with how many yards you would like to claim. So if we have a bolt of fabric and it has 10 yards, I will say 10, and you will comment with how many yards of the 10 you would like. Now, I'm going to tell you all the fabrics are going to be $9 a yard. That is a flat price. It'll be $9 a yard for everything. And I am going to go ahead and spoil the surprise and tell you guys that we are going to have some of Tula Pink's new gray work on there. We will have at least 2 bolts of gray work. They'll be $9 a yard. Tula Pink is going to be one of our featured designers. Tula Pink, Juicy Juice, also Black Diddy Corey, Yoder Temple, and Hoffman. So if you guys want to join the show, $9 a yard, guys. I don't know about you, but it is real hard to find anything less than $13 now. And so definitely join the show, claim the yardage. You can definitely watch later and claim anything that's left over. So the way that it'll work is if you're participating in the show live, you're going to be able to comment what you want. That script of what people claim doesn't go live on YouTube for 24 hours. So if you're watching it tomorrow morning, for example, you're not going to see what's claimed. I'm going to encourage you to put what you would like claimed. And then Joanna, when she goes through and reconciles all the invoices, If there is that much left, she will write the invoice for you and get it out to you. So you can definitely watch it later if it is perhaps too late for your time zone, or if you have something this evening, you can watch it, and you can watch it tonight, you can watch it tomorrow morning, and we will go from there. And it's going to be lots of fun. And I have no doubt there'll be shenanigans. We will be going much faster this time because we have, I think, over 75 different fabrics we're going to be showing. I think closer to 80 fabrics. And so it's going to be, here's the bolt, and then here we go. Here's the bolt, here it goes. Yes, Patch, it does tend to sell out fast, especially, I mean, they've got it all kind of queued up over here. They have a lot of fantastic fabrics for this show, you guys. So don't forget to go to cottoncuts.com/registration to be able to register for the YouTube live sale tonight. If you've already registered, you don't have to register again. That just makes sure we can match your YouTube name up with your actual username. So Pat, it is 7 p.m. Central Time tonight. For retreats, we still have 2 more spots to join us in Denver for next month. 2 spots, you guys. There's only 2 left. You have to go to the website and sign up for Denver. There are 2 spots left. Spend spring in Denver with us. We have Rebecca Bryan coming. She's doing a freezer paper piecing project, which is a technique I've never used before. So I'm very much looking forward to this. In the class, you can make a block, but we will also have enough for you to make a whole quilt. We're going to be pre-cutting a bunch of that so you can actually finish the project. I love when we did Winding Ways and we had people that were actually finishing the Winding Ways quilt in the class. It is a lot of fun. So we want to make sure that you guys have as fun of an experience as possible. You could literally just show up. We will have a sewing machine. We have all the supplies you need. You don't need to worry about traveling to retreat and having to drag your entire sewing room with you. We've got you covered. 2 spots left for Denver. Make sure you sign up quickly if you are on the fence. Yes, Patch, it is 7 o'clock Central. And Dannon says it is more fun live. It is a lot more fun live. You just never know. I think Lincoln will join us tonight. That kid might have to miss soccer practice, but it might also be just me and Paula moving fabric across. Let's see here. Diane says if she didn't have 5 dogs, she'd totally be at Denver. You know, you could just bring them with you. Travel with 5 dogs. I don't know if the hotel would like that. I'd be okay with that. All right. On Instagram, we're doing a giveaway countdown up until tomorrow. We're giving away all these fun little like pre-cut sorted pieces of fabric by colorway. And Paula wanted me to show you guys what the grand prize is. So if you have participated every day, or if you perhaps go today and go back and participate backwards every day for 8 days, you will be entered to win one of the grand prizes. And are entered to win the grand prize. There's one grand prize. Sorry about that. And so what the grand prize is, and this is literally for just going on Instagram and commenting on a photo. And so the first is an Oliso iron, one of these little mini project irons that is super fantastic and amazing, as well as a bundle of Tula Pink purple fabric. This is so much fun. I like it when we do the purples and grays together. But this is going to be the grand prize. All you literally have to do is go on Instagram and comment on the photos for the past week, and you'll be entered to win this lovely assortment of, and there's also the retreat bag as well. So the Cotton Cuts retreat bag is also part of the giveaway on Instagram. So if you're on Instagram, go participate, have fun. You're going to win free stuff. Pat, I will tell Lincoln that you would love to see him. We will see how he's feeling tonight. And Ray, we're looking at some more Midwest destinations. For us, right in the Midwest, we like going further away, but we definitely do need to look more geographically centered. That is absolutely fair. All right. Okay. Field of Dreamers. Everyone is starting to get their clues. Everyone's going to get their clue ones. They're going to ship tomorrow if you're a month-to-month detective. And so what we wanted to do is just do a quick refresher. So sometimes, you know, it's been a little bit since you've done your last PMQ. Perhaps this is your first one. It's really what do you need to get started to be successful with the puzzle mystery quilt? And so as we look at Field of Dreamers is, I believe, number 19. This is our 19th design for puzzle mystery quilt. And it is, I know when we say Field of Dreamers, sometimes people assume that the name of the quilt is like in the design. This one's a little harder to connect to it, but Field of Dreamers just gets to, it's the things that inspire you, the things that push you, the things that kind of give you hope and want to make you continue to create special things. That's really the generalized theme of the design. But, and it when you see the finish, you'll see it does lend itself to the theme very, very nicely. Just to make sure everyone knows, The puzzle mystery quilt comes in 2 different sizes. There is a small that finishes 48 by 60 and a large that finishes 72 by 72. It is 10 months. And so what you receive in month 1 is going to be different than what you receive in month 2, 3, 4, and on and on and on. This is not a traditional block of the month in a quilt shop where you come in and you make a square. And then the next month you make another square. And the next month you make another square. You're going to make puzzle parts and pieces. So sometimes you're going to make strips. Sometimes you'll be making triangle pieces. Sometimes you'll be making teeny tiny little blocks, and sometimes you'll be making bigger blocks. But each month you're going to make between 4 and 6 different pieces that are part of the puzzle. You're not going to stitch them all together. So this isn't a here's clue 1 and 2. They're going to go in different parts and pieces around the finished quilt. So as you do this, we're going to give you some tips and tricks to make sure that you are as successful as possible when you're sewing each month, and that when it comes time to finish, you are as successful as possible. And so I know that many of you have been doing this for a long time. So I'm hoping this kind of dusts things off as you start, but also shows you some of the new things that we have been working on with the puzzle mystery quilts. So some key tips. I have 5 tips to maximize your success with the puzzle mystery quilt. So first, organization is key. When your first clue arrives, I'm going to encourage you to take it out and look at everything that is included in it. And so there is always a lot of information in clue 1. And when I see people go online and post a question, I'm like, it's in your clue 1. Or they post a question, and I'm absolutely fine. Post the question. Please ask the question, but make sure that you're going through everything that's included in your clue 1, in your box, in your first package, because there's so much information we have there that you have at your fingertips. And I'm going to encourage you to keep all of that information in the same place. And so thankfully, if you're doing a prepaid, you got the box. Just keep it all in the box. Keep all your paper in the box. Keep all your instructions in the box. Keep all the things in the box. If you are doing a month to month and you don't have a box, I encourage you, the 12 by 12 little plastic keepers work really well for a puzzle mystery quilt. One of my favorites that is always suggested is to go to your local pizzeria and get a pizza box, a clean box. They will actually give you a clean box, and you can put all your parts and pieces inside of it, and you can write the mystery on the outside, and it is fantastic. So make sure you have a container and a plan for where you're going to keep all of your mysteries. Pressing matters. So you talked about pressing at the top of the show, but for this puzzle mystery quilt, for the PMQ, I'm going to encourage you to follow the arrows for pressing instructions. Every single one of our ambassadors always talks about how much easier it is in clue 10 if you follow the pressing instructions at the beginning of the project. So if you're one of these, it's like, I'm going to sew and I'll just press whichever way, press to the dark side. I'm going to strongly encourage you to fight that urge, and press in the direction of the arrow. Because if you press in the direction of the arrow, because if you do that, you are saving your future self some challenges and some heartaches and some headaches. So please press in the direction of the arrows, and don't forget you're pressing, not ironing. So you're going to push down. You're not smearing across your fabric. And if you do, it's okay. No one's going to know but you. But in general, best practice says you need to press straight down on your seams. We talked about this as well. The third tip is pressing seam allowance consistency. Make sure that your seam allowances are consistent. And so in order to help you with that, make sure you're starting with the same presser foot on the same machine. Make sure that you have the same type of thread. So it's highly advisable to not necessarily switch thread middle of project. Now, mind you, if you have to, this is the real world. It is okay. It is not going to be the end of the world if you have to change thread or if you have to change sewing machines. These are just little things that could get you to a more consistent outcome, and it just saves yourself a little bit of headaches. But you can definitely just make sure that seam allowance is going to be as consistent as possible. Can't believe she actually said the word pizza today. Hope maybe pizza is the word. Who knows? And I just said it. I'm going to say it again. Pizza, Gianna. Pizza is the word today. Okay. The fourth tip is to make sure you label your pieces. And so I don't always do this, guys, and it always gives me a little bit of hair pulling at the end because I don't always label my pieces. However, it is recommended to keep your instructions with your puzzle pieces so you know which comes with clue 1. This is an idea that came out a couple mysteries ago, and that was to actually have the section labels that you guys can cut out and then pin to it so you know which is 1A, which is 1B, which is 2A, which is 2B. All of those little pieces of, pinning this labeling to your pieces makes that month 10 that much easier. If everything is labeled, because you're going to get an image of here's the final layout, and it's going to tell you 4A, 6B, 7D, 4C, whatever it is. Please don't record that. I don't know if that's the real answer. And if you try and extrapolate that to the final design, it might mess you up. But it's going to tell you all those parts and pieces. And so if you have this on all of your pieces and you've been labeling as you go, it is very, very helpful. Linda Wample is absolutely right. Labeling is very, very helpful. Shirley Alaska says, old habits die hard. I always end up ironing. I know, but it's you, it's your project. If you want to iron instead of press, that's totally fine. I'm not gonna, I don't know about you guys, but I bet you not a single person can look at a quilt, a finished quilt, and say, oh, that person ironed instead of pressed. Like, nobody does that. You don't know, right? This is just one of those things that just helps you along the way. And then the fifth element is join the community. So we have a super active Cotton Cuts Facebook group. And so this group is full of supportive people. There's a lot of experienced detectives that hang out there. They love and cheer you on, and they keep you accountable, because one of the things we like about the project is that we get a lot of people to the end. This is not a program where we want you to start and thank you so much for your money and we don't care how you finish. I've been in those programs. It's super unfulfilling. I like that we have a very active Facebook group, that we want everyone to finish the quilts. We want everyone to stay on pace together, and we want everyone to finish. And as, like I said, if you have a question, ask the question. There is always someone there to help you. Yeah, Ray says we don't bite. This is one of those things I hardly ever have to answer a question in that group, because 5 other people have already answered it, and it's perfect and it's fantastic. Let's see here. Diane says she takes this sheet. This is a good tip. She takes this sheet and she prints it on sticker paper, and then that way she can actually sticker on the actual parts and pieces. That was fantastic too. That way it stays on there. I love to pin the labels on. Lettering is kind of small. Yes, I agree. I think this is something we can make these just a little bit more readable, and maybe something that's doesn't look like 7A versus 1A. That is definitely something we can work on for sure. Yeah, Linda, the community is the best. Join that Facebook group. If you are not there, then you are definitely missing out. So let me show you all the things that are going to come in your Clue 1 package. So everyone is going to get these labels. Make sure that you find this. Make sure that you keep this. I'm sure there's probably some tips and tricks about cutting them out, putting them in a Ziploc bag. There's going to be things that, okay, go have fun, Diane. Good luck in your Zoom class. She needs to leave us, but make sure that you put these out. I'm sure putting them in a Ziploc bag probably helps. Putting them in order, maybe safety pinning them. If you have a prepaid, perhaps putting them with the bag that you've got, all of that stuff. Okay. The next thing is our Flat Nancy. Okay, so this little guy has a whole bunch of instructions on the back of it. So make sure I know a lot of people like to get things and think it's just one-sided. This definitely has the back side. Like a flat Stanley. So this idea originated out of a flat Stanley project. One of our kids was doing a flat Stanley over the summer and taking photos and submitting them back to school. But the idea is each month you take this little card and photograph it with your finished clue. So you've sewn Clue 1. You're going to take a photo of your finished Clue 1 with your Flat Nancy. There's a website that you go to, you upload the photo, and you tell us a story about your Flat Nancy. So where did Nancy go that month? Where are you sewing your quilt at? Could be in your sewing room, but we get a lot of adventures of people that are stitching, here or there, or on vacation, or on an airplane. And so we just love to hear where Flat Nancy is going. So Flat Nancy, this is blue. It's blue this time. Case of blue, right? We got a lot of blue going on this mystery. So Flat Nancy is blue this time. Make sure that you take this card. If you lose your Flat Nancy, totally not the end of the world. Everything will be totally fine. Just send us a note. We'll get you a new one. Let's see, Nancy is going to be sitting under the tree. I know. We tried. It's okay. I like Nancy. I really do like the Nancy Drew image that we've got here. I feel like people recognize it and see it. So Pat, this is a fantastic follow-up. So inside your clue will also be one of these little blue pieces of paper that talks about our Stitching the Sky community project. So we've done this before with Tree of Life, and we loved the engagement we got from you guys. We loved that you guys were able to participate with us. And so in this, here are the instructions for what we're going to do. everyone received a piece of fabric that has fusible interfacing. And so what we're asking you to do is take this fabric and trace whatever shape of star you would like. You can make it a 27-point star. You can make it a 4-point star. You can make it whatever type of star you want, but you're going to trace it on here, cut it out, sign it with your name and location, and then we're going to be ironing it on this sky. And so we're going to see our night sky fill up with people that inspire us, namely you guys. You guys inspire us. And so we're going to build a community sky with your stars. The mailing address that you mail it to is on here. It gives you all the instructions for that as well. And as we receive them, we're going to start populating the sky. And so it is very blue right now. I anticipate in probably 3-ish weeks, it'll be a lot less blue and we'll have a lot more stars on it. So make sure that you guys don't throw that away. Cut out your star and we will iron it up there. Please, please, please don't sign on the fusible side. We won't see it because we're going to take that paper off and iron it on. So make sure that you're signing it on the fabric side. And then we saw a question earlier about what type of marker to use. You can use whatever marker or pen is convenient or handy for you. It's not our intention to wash this. So it's our intention to put it up there and be seen. I would not recommend, and we've had people try and sign with the big wide tip permanent markers. It doesn't look super fantastic or great. So if you're going to sign to something, make sure it's fine tip. And like I said, it could be pen, it could be felt tip. We're not washing it, so it doesn't have to be color fast. So definitely don't worry about that. Okay, Patch, I think I got your question there. This is quite possibly the single most important pieces of paper in your entire package. So this is our swatch booklet. Every single person receives this both in your Clue 1 and in your prepaid box, as well as digitally at the time you placed your order. When you placed your order, this was attached as a PDF. And this also lives in the evidence locker. So we've tried to make sure that you guys have all of this information at your fingertips. Everyone make sure it's the right colorway. Sometimes you make mistakes. It happens. Make sure it's the right colorway. And we already talked about the color wheel and how the colors work with the A, B, C, D, and whatnot. This inside here gives you so much information. I think of the questions that we get asked from a lot of beginners, a lot of them are answered here. So this tells you how to prepare and begin sewing the puzzle mystery quilt. Some of the things to look at, like colors. Then this little calendar here. When does my thing renew? And when does my thing ship? We get asked this all the time. Hey, when did Clue 7 ship? And everyone's like, look at the calendar. It's right there. This tells you when things renew, and this tells you when things ship. Yes, Pat, this is quite possibly the most important thing. It is not cheap for us to print it in this type of paper and color, but it is so important. We want to make sure that you guys have access to it. It gives you instructions on how to find the Facebook group. If you have a general question, how to get in charge of our member support. And if any of your parts or pieces have an error, how to get to our PMQ support team. And then on the back, this guy right here, you need this to be able to sew your project. And so this will tell you what fabric A, B, C, D, E, and F is, as well as your binding. The instructions are the same instructions for everyone. So when it says fabric A, it's not going to tell you the gray leopard print, the light gray leopard print, and it's going to tell you fabric A. So everyone uses the same instructions. Every colorway uses the same set of instructions, but your A is going to be different than everyone else's. And I think one of the things that trip people up, I'm going to go ahead and use that to transition into the instructions, is when we're looking at the instructions, these are the same for everyone. And oftentimes, a lot of people assume that A is going to be the lightest fabric they have, and B and F is going to be the darkest fabric they have. Because we've had to print them in grayscale, they assume that since A is white here, it is the white fabric in their kit. Please, please, please do not make that assumption. We have it in an increasing gradient. Oh, I'm actually showing you guys Clue 1. We probably should not have had this one up here. All right, so for those of you that were really quick, I guess you would have seen Clue 1. It's totally fine. It's like 24-hour advance notice. It's fine. But so in theory, right, there's a gradient scale here of A, B, C, D, and F. And so we made it such that A is always the lightest and F is always the darkest, just to help with consistency in Clue construction. So please don't assume that just because A is light and F is dark, that matches to your fabrics. In fact, as we can see, B is actually the lightest fabric in Night Flow. And F, yes, indeed, is the darkest, but it could be really anything. So just make sure you're paying attention and know that difference between the two. You'll also get instructions. I've already showed you guys what Clue 1 makes. That's totally fine. You can freeze the video. It's only like 12 hours. Nobody's going to have a heart attack about that. But the instructions are going to be two-sided as well. So make sure that you're looking at both sides of the instructions. It has pressing instructions. I know some people are pictures. Definitely follow the pictures. Some people are words, follow the words. You do you, just make sure that you're stitching and pressing and following all the instructions. Rain, let me come back to that question. And then of course, the fabric. This is kind of super important. If you receive a kit without fabric, please let us know. Something really bad had to have happened if that's the case. But we have all of your triangles, your squares, and your strips that are included with your kit that you need to make that one's glue. Now, I will say, if, for example, you're supposed to have 8 of something and we shipped you 7, or there was a die cut error and you ended up getting parts that are connected together, or it has a pulled string. Things happen, things go wrong. Please, please, please reach out to us. I would much rather send you a replacement part or 2 than you not be able to finish this project. Like I said, we want you to finish these projects. So if there are any errors, if that strip instead of 9.5 inches is 9.25 and it's not going to work, please send us a note. We will pop those pieces in the mail to you. If I don't think I've seen Greta yet, but if your dog eats your clue or your husband throws it away, we want you to finish this project. It would be a travesty to have 9 clues and be missing one and can't finish your project. So you definitely want to make sure that your fabric is great and fantastic and up to par. Do not be ashamed if you email us for parts and pieces and find out they're under your iron. People have mentioned this before. Their iron is on top of their parts. There goes a plane. And also, we include gifts. And so we include gifts with clue 1, 5, and 10. 1, because we're super excited. We're just starting this new project. We're all on the same journey together. 5, because you're halfway, and 10, because you're on the end. Oh, hi, Greta. So just make sure that you have that there's always going to be a gift or something silly, something fun. So we have the rose gold pens for those that have prepaid for clue 1. And I don't think I'm going to tell you what's coming in the month-to-month clue 1, but I can tell you it is a cotton cut favorite. What comes in the month-to-month clue 1. So yes, all right. So that's what comes in the prepaid clue 1. I think I've covered everything that you guys need to stitch and sew. Now I'm going to talk about in our community, in the Cotton Cuts Fabric Facebook group, we are always encouraging people to post photos of their finished sewing, right? I'm so excited. I got clue 1. I'm posting it and I want to show it. And here's my flat Nancy, and I'm super excited. And so our rule in the group has always been, if you don't want to see clue 1 that someone else has shown, then please silence the notifications in the Facebook group for a week or 2. If part of the surprise for you is sewing each clue, and that's part of what you want to hold as you don't want any spoilers on that, please silence the notifications in the group, because in the next 10 days, we are roughly going to see about 80 posts of people that are sewing their clue 1 and are super excited about that. And we want to keep that going. If you don't want to see that, just make sure to silence those notifications and you won't see them. And then when you come back in a week, you can scroll back through and see all the incredible colorways coming together. Let's see here. Love Loathingly says she got some extra pieces. That happens. Surprisingly, nobody is unhappy if they get extra parts and pieces. So it happens. It's fine. Keep those extra parts and pieces. Please don't worry about sending them back to us. Keep them. They are yours. Yes, Pat, that's another thing. Sometimes we get parts and pieces that have selvage cut into them. Depending on the manufacturer, the selvage can be thin or it can be very thick. If there's selvage in your parts and you want replacement parts, let us know. If it's too big and it's exceeds your seam allowance, definitely let us know and we will get that all figured out. Okay, what else? So as you're making these clues, you're super excited and it's a lot of fun. And we've got all these projects and all these fun things with Nancy and Stars. Don't forget to get your borders and to get your backing, because those will only be on the website through clue 3, and then we're going to take them down if they're not already sold out. Oops kits. So oops kits, hold on, e-joiner. I'm going to come back to the pillowcase kit. So oops kits, in case you're one of those people that you're sewing along, and you're a triangle short, or you accidentally make a mistake sewing and you want to recut pieces, an oops kit is a fat 8 of all of the prints in your fabric. So you can cut those and keep sewing. You are definitely more than welcome to email us. We will send you parts and pieces, but if you don't want to wait a couple days, that oops kit is a great way to keep you sewing in the what if scenario. Most people make it to the end without needing it, and then they're able to use their oops kits for borders and for backing and for additional blocks and for pillows. So don't forget to make sure that that oops kit does have more purpose than just an oops if you're sewing it. You can also use it for an additional project at the end. Now, I'm going to talk about pillowcase kits. So pillowcase kits are going to be shipping with your either prepaid box or with your Clue one. So everyone that's ordered a pillowcase kit as of Tuesday, I think, is getting it with their Clue one. All pillowcase kits are sold out. So if you missed out on purchasing a pillowcase kit, I'm so very sorry. They are all sold out. We are all completely out of those. And those are all going to be coming to you at the beginning of the program. And the borders and the backing are going to come with your Clue 10. Let's see here. Let's see here. Oh my God, get 2 oops kits. Yeah, I mean, 2 oops kits, why wouldn't you? Because then you can use them for other projects. Patch likes people sharing each clue so she can check if hers is correct. That is absolutely true. Let's see here. Bobby says she's trying to keep up her kit just ships so she won't get it for a while. Yeah, it does have to get to Alaska. I don't know why it takes so long, but it does take a chunk of time. I'm super sorry about that. Don't forget sign ups. So if you participate in a colorway and you see someone post something and you want another colorway, please make sure you sign up quickly because we have only a little bit more left on some of these colorways. So if you see something you like, get to the website. Restocking is getting more challenging the further we get away from the release of these fabrics. So I'm getting harder for me to restock. I think we're at like 5 that are already sold out and sold out for good. So make sure that you get there by Clue 3. Let's see here. I ordered the backing and have not received it. Will it come later? Yes. Oh, Daniel ordered the backing and has not received it. We will take a look at that because you should have gotten your backing. Borders will come with Clue 10. Backing is coming at the beginning. Dan, please send a note in to help at Cotton Cuts and we will take care of that. Let's see here. How do you re-sign up? Yes. So Pamela, I think as you've been chatting, you signed up and then you backed out and you want to sign back up again, go ahead and email into help@cottoncuts.com and the wonderful and amazing Carrie will get you all taken care of. Now, in the spirit of bringing back fun things, we are also going to be doing bingo. So for everyone that signs up for Field of Dreamers by tomorrow, by midnight tomorrow night, you are going to be eligible to play bingo next week. So what does all of that mean, right? What does all this bingo mean? So you will get a bingo card for every Field of Dreamers membership that you have. So say you have 3 prepaids and 2 monthlies, you will get 5 bingo cards, which will give you 5 chances to win. And so we will start playing bingo on Monday. We will announce it in our Cotton Cuts Fabric Facebook group. We will also be posting it on our website. So if you don't have access to Facebook, you are not left out. We definitely want as many people to play as possible. And so you will play bingo and you will go into your card. And it's fun when we've done this because it's so interactive and so easy. And if a bingo is called, you just tap your screen and it'll mark it out. And we'll play different games. We'll do rows, we'll do columns, we'll do 4 corners, we'll do blackout. It's going to be a lot of fun, giving away a lot of stuff. So you are going to want to play. You are going to want to keep up every day that we have these announcements and make sure that you keep those bingo links active. They will come to you in an email. So make sure that you're checking your email on Monday and that you get the right number of bingo cards for the right number of measurements. I guess I won't get my shipment until the 20th. I guess I'll miss the bingo game. So Deanna, the bingo is virtual. So it's not actual physical. So you don't have to wait for your PMQ to arrive to you to play in bingo. The bingo is actually all online. So even if you don't have your shipment, even if you don't have your illusion, you will definitely still be able to play. And that's regardless. I mean, if you signed up January 20th, if you signed up in December, anyone who signs up by tomorrow night at midnight is eligible to play and will still get a card in the email on Monday. Now, I know. Where's my card? I didn't get the email. Please check promotions. Please check spam. Please check trash. Please check any email address you would have used to register for the program. We're going to email it to the email address you used when you sign up. And I know some people have 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 different email addresses. So please make sure that you're checking the email that you used when you sign up. That's the one we're going to use when we email it out. Let's see here. Can you give me some names of the YouTube channels that are selling Field of Dreamers clues? Tanya, that is a fantastic question. I'm going to let Paula answer that into the chat. Where is the card? So it's not going to be in the kit. It's going to be a URL. And I promise you, Lonnie, it's going to be super easy. It's going to be click on this link. You click on the link and it's going to open up a whole screen. It's very easy and it's lots and lots of fun because we like to have easy and fun stuff around here. Okay. That is everything for Field of Dreamers in the Get You Started category. So make sure that you guys are on the lookout for your mail, that you're getting all the tracking. Clue ones almost always come with tracking because they have so much stuff in them. So you should be able to get tracking. I don't see any major weather disturbances in the next week or so that might cause a delay to receiving your package. And I feel like we've had enough clear weather for the past week that you might be okay. It should arrive in 3 to 7 days, but we do ask that you give 14 days from the time it's shipped for your package to arrive. That just gives it time to float in and out and through and around the postal system. So 14 days. We are always more than happy to track it for you. If there's any problems with your shipments, if you're asked to pay any postage, please reach out to us. We have corporate USPS contacts that'll help us navigate and sort all of that. So please make sure that you are letting us know. Lonnie, what time is bingo? The cards will come out to you on Monday. We will put up a whole bunch of announcements so you'll know when the email is sent, but the email will come out Monday. And then what day are we actually going to start the drops? On the 12th. The actual drops will start on the 12th. All right, that's the end of our show, gang. Thank you so much for hanging with me. If you have stayed with me to the end of the show, as you know, we always ask you guys a question. So find this video on YouTube, on Instagram, and on Facebook. Sorry, I'm getting interrupted. Let's see here. I don't know what this means. We'll come back to that. Sorry, I was getting interrupted as I was on my phone. Okay, so find this video on YouTube, on Instagram, and on Facebook. And make sure that you answer this question into the comments. We will pick one lucky person to win a $25 gift card to our shop. We do this every week because why not? It's always fun. Let's see here. The question is, what excites you most about starting a new block of the month? So here we are, guys. We're at the beginning of a new block of the month program. It's our puzzle mystery quilt. And we are going to be doing this for 10 months. And I know that first month, it's always excitement and new and pretty fabrics. And so what are you most excited about for starting a new block of the month? And so if you're not participating in Field of Dreamers, what excites you on that first day of a new program, a new project? And so let's see here. Tell the Indianapolis Post Office to not play with our packages. The word came out 3 times. I don't know how many times I said what word is. I'm going to assume Paula will let you guys know. What was that? Hold on. So I have been passed a note because Paula is very good at, like, in the middle of a continuous thought, passing me a note. So if you want to see what fabrics we're selling tonight in the YouTube live sale, please go to cottoncuts.com. There is a sneak peek there from our YouTube live sale. It's on the registration page, I believe. Correct? It's on the top menu. There's a sneak peek. And then it says YouTube, Cotton Cuts YouTube in the main menu on the top of the page. I'm sure you guys will find it. So everyone seems to think I said the word either 3 times or 7 times. So I don't know what the word was. So let's discover what the word was together. The word was PMQ. This is a very interesting one to have chosen because do you count any time I said puzzle mystery quilt, or do I have to have actually said PMQ? All right, so I will let her sort that out. That's a fun little nuance. But Paula will let you guys know who the winner is. But answer the question, what excites you the most about starting a new block of the month? Answer the question and we'll pick a lucky winner. I think, man, out of breath, guys. Holy cow. We have so much to do on the shop for today and tomorrow to get all those lovelies out the door to you. We are on it. Thank you guys so much for spending your time with us. Everyone have a fantastic rest of your week. Happy sewing, and we will see you soon. Bye now. And cut. Thank you so much for watching our video. We have so much fun making these, and we hope that you were both delighted and inspired by what you just watched. This video was sponsored by Cotton Cuts. Cotton Cuts is your one stop for all the best fabric and thread memberships. Love fabric? We've got you covered. Love thread? We've got you covered. We get that no 2 quilters are cut from the same cloth, which is why our memberships are as unique as you. We also have the largest block of the month in the world. Over 4,000 detectives solve our puzzle mystery quilts every year, and you can join them. Simply go to cottoncuts.com to learn more about all the awesome and fun things that we're doing. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe to make sure you get all of our new fresh content every time it comes out. Thank you so much. Happy sewing enthusiasts, and we will see you soon. Bye now.